Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am Manahil Morjawali and I am delighted to be your host today. And I'm from Karachi, Pakistan. We have a very special guest with us, someone whose achievements and contributions have truly made an impact on the world. It is an honor to introduce you to ma'am Randi, Dr. Ward. Ma'am Randi, thank you so much for being here with us today. We are eager to learn more about your incredible journey and the remarkable experiences you had throughout your life. So, without further ado, let's dive into in your inspiring story. So, welcome, ma'am. How are you?
It's a pleasure to be here with you. You're such a dynamic young woman. I'm so impressed with you already.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, before moving on, questions, can you please introduce yourself for my viewers?
Okay, how much do you want me to say? Because there's a lot. I've lived a long time and I've done a lot of things. Well, I'm an educator. I taught language arts, which is English and other, literature and all that in the United States for 37 years. And then during the revolution in Egypt in 2011, 2012, I went to Egypt, Cairo, to teach English as a second language to young adults. When I came home, I wrote my first book. It's my memoir, Because I Believed in Me. My Egyptian fantasy came true. I had a Facebook contest, and two Egyptians named the book. It has 153 pictures in it, and my cover was actually designed by an Egyptian artist. In this book, I tell the story of my life as an English teacher living in a revolution, but also I wanted to share the story of the Egyptians. Okay, I went back to Egypt, and in the next couple of years, I was able to open two centers in Egypt. One was called Rise Up, it was an adult language arts center or English center, and the other one was a nursery school. And I was not able to teach at the school. I was doing it virtually through Skype. But the little children, the preschool children, I was teaching them via Skype with short stories and poems and fables that I had created just for them. It was an amazing experience. Sadly, because the economy in Egypt was struggling after the revolution, and I was not able there to promote the schools as much as I wanted. I had Egyptian partners, but it was still hard. Both schools had to close, but I had my Oprah moment. You know, Oprah Winfrey has a school in South Africa. I had two, not just one. So I'm proud of that. Then I continued my writing career. I write children's short stories, adult short stories. I'm a poet. I'm a blogger. I'm a YouTuber. I just published my first novel, which is called Random Wanderings, which travels to 7 countries. I wrote it when I had a horrible car accident and had 8 broken bones in my body, including my neck and my arm. I used this hand and typed on my laptop to write my 300-page novel, and it just came out. I'm a survivor. As a child, I didn't walk for 5 years of my life because of bad knees, but now I have two good artificial knees and I can do whatever I want. I can dance, I can walk, I can do everything. So, okay, after my writing career, um, like I said, I can write in all genres. I'm also in the editor for 4 magazines. One of them is called Morocco Pens. I would love for some of your viewers who do not speak English as a first language to contact me because I can make them a published writer for free. If they want to write a poem, a short story, an article in English, send it to me. I edit it, and then we put it on our magazine called Morocco Pens with one of my sons, quote, sons. I have a lot of children I've adopted around the world who created this magazine for people to write in English and get published. I'm also the editor of a women's magazine called Inspirations for Better Living. And I'm also for a business magazine called Be Global. I love editing. I love writing. Uh, in fact, I started my second career, or my third career, I should say, as a book writing consulting coach. I'm certified in 4 coaching categories. And now I teach people to write their stories because you, I know, have your own story and someday you should write it. But a lot of people have stories that they should write to inspire people with their life stories, with their messages. So, but some people don't know how to do that. So I help them write their stories. And then because I taught English for so many years and know everything about writing, literally, I edit their books for them. And I now have my own publishing company with my fiance, by the way, who is from Pakistan. He's from Rawalpindi. So you and I have a Pakistani connection. My new company is called RM Infinite One Stop Possibilities. We publish books from the very beginning to the very end. We offer marketing services, um, translation services. We even do tourism because I've been in 62 countries and we love to travel. So if anybody's interested in publishing their books, I can help them with that after they write it and after I edit it. So, and I'm also the chancellor for an online university. I'm also the chancellor of an online university uh, called World University of Leadership and Management. It's founded in Nepal. So I'm a busy lady. I do a lot of things. I have three honorary doctorates, one from Egypt, one from India, and one from the United States. Two of those are in humanitarianism. I just became the Lady of All Nations um, uh, global goodwill ambassador. I actually am an ambassador, a real ambassador, and I promote love and peace and kindness. So is that enough, or do you want more? I've got a lot of awards. I'm very humbled by those. I've been honored by the President of the United States, by Nelson Mandela, by universities and organizations all over the world. I'm so blessed because my philosophy is believe in yourself. Don't dream big, dream bigger. The sky is the limit, so reach for the stars. And because I've lived my life this way and I've worked very hard, people honor me with awards, and I'm very humbled to receive them.
All right, that's really wonderful introduction. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the introduction. So now let's move on to questions. My first question is on your screen.
Okay. Okay.
Can you
Okay.
tell us? I want to speak.
Okay.
Can you
Yes,
tell
I
us
can.
about?
Well, okay. Okay. Well,
Can you tell?
from my connections as being an educator, I always write. I have a lot of students that I've been tutoring online, and one of the young men who's this great student ambassador in Nepal. He's very famous. His name is Walker Ariel. Some of you may know him. Uh, he has a student ambassador program. Somehow he found me and he asked me to be the chancellor because he wanted my input as a lifetime educator. So I'm very honored. I've actually gone to Dubai and given out four honorary doctorates, two to two people in Nepal and two from Bangladesh. We hope next year, the university is relatively new, to really get it started and offer some programs for young people to take in leadership and management. And I'm hoping in humanities service. So yes, it was an easy transition for me from going for public school teacher to ambassador and chancellor of a university. And I'm very passionate about that. Good question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. Your answer also good. Thank you so much. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is, what inspired you to become an author and a book writing coach, master editor?
Okay, well, remember, I taught writing for 37 years, literally, to students from ages 12 to 18. I taught junior high and high school in the United States, but I never had time to write. I was always grading and evaluating their writing. So when I went to Egypt, I had been in 49 countries at the time, including China, and China had just opened up to the world. And I had a lot of stories to tell, but I never had time to tell them because I was always busy. So when I retired, and went to Egypt to teach English as a second language, as I said earlier. When I came home, I told myself, this is the perfect time to write my first book. I've always wanted to do that. And I wanted so much to tell the story of the Egyptians and their struggle for democracy and to tell my story. Because living in Egypt as an American, as privileged American, I admit that, with all the advantages that the Egyptians did not have at this time, I wanted to promote their lives and all they were trying to do for their democracy. So I wrote this book. In fact, I wrote it in 4 months because I was so passionate. I had taken thousands of pictures. And remember, I said I have 153 pictures in that book. And I believe, even though I'm an English teacher and words are important, pictures also tell stories. So that's the reason I had to include the pictures in the book. So that was my transition. Well, I had so much fun writing that book that I thought, okay, you taught poetry, you taught how to write novels. What can you do? So I just started writing, and I'm a prolific writer. I probably have 25 books that I will now publish in my new publishing company. I had a bad experience with the publishing company for my Egypt book and just decided I'm just going to write. I'm not going to worry about publishing, but now I want to get my words out there. And when I write, even my poetries, my short stories, my novels, I'm a very positive person. I smile a lot. I got the wrinkles around my mouth to prove it. But when I have stories, I always have to have happy endings. We need happy endings in our world. So when I write, when you read my book and you get done, you're going to be smiling because my characters may go through some problems, but I always find a way to help them resolve it. Okay, my husband passed away. I was married for 48 years. My husband passed away December 15th, 2019, right before COVID shut down our world. I was devastated. He was my life. I was able to handle all the things that happened to me. I've learned to walk so many times in my life. I had a horrible car accident that left me paralyzed for like 5 years. But God helped me to learn to walk again, empowered me. But after I lost my husband, I was devastated. And I thought, okay, I can't sit here. I can't write. I can't do anything. So I decided I had to find another way to help people. So I got the opportunity to be certified in holistic emotional intelligence, life harmony, NLP, which is the neuro-linguistics practitioner, and communication mastery. Some of you know these coaching certifications. And I decided I don't want to just be an ordinary coach. There's so many coaches out there, but I know how to teach people how to write their books. So I used my experience with all these degrees to become a book writing consulting coach. And since I edited tens of thousands of essays and papers during my life, being an editor was a natural transition. I am a master editor, and I don't mean that to sound as if I'm bragging, but I know what I'm doing. I know what good writing is, and I know how to correct things so that your writing is as perfect as we can get it, without changing your voice. I believe in keeping your voice, but making it grammatically perfect. So that was my natural transition from helping people write their stories because my story was so sad after I lost my husband. And I wrote about that. And I thought other people have stories they need to share. It helps to cleanse your mind, your soul, your body, to get all this sadness out and share with others because others are going through the same thing and you can help them. So that was my transition of becoming a book writing coach and master editor.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your inspirational story. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is on your screen.
Okay, let
You
me
will
see. Where's
receive
my
numerous awards and recognition throughout your career. Could you share your one achievement that you are particularly proud
okay.
of and why?
Oh my goodness. And I don't mean this, I don't mean to sound like I'm bragging, but I've received probably 100 awards. I know that's crazy. And when I look at these, I think, who is this woman? Who is this crazy, this Magnuna woman, this crazy woman that receives all these awards? But I think one of them, I have to take three, okay? One of them is International Association of Top Professionals named me Educator of the Decade. And as an educator, that touched my heart. My university, Marshall University in Huntington, West Virginia, just named me in 2023 the top inspirational alumna of the year. That was a big one for me. I think receiving all my honorary doctorates and becoming a top global impact influencer is big. I just became an ambassador of happiness, and this was given to me by the Queen of Berlin and the King of Indonesia. Think about that. They gave me a Queen of Happiness ambassadorship. So the Nelson Mandela Foundation. I've been to Nelson Mandela's house where he used to live before he passed away. My honor. I mean, there's so many things. I'm a superhero. I got a superhero award in the Philippines a few weeks ago. I got. I was honored by the United Nations. I was a VIP in Philippines and honored at Davao City and Manila. The list is so I cannot number. Just give you just one. There are so many, and I actually have printed all of my certificates. I've framed everything. I've run out of places for my awards, but I put them out because not only do I want to honor myself, but I honor the people that gave me these prestigious awards. I'm so blessed. I'm a happy person. I'm so blessed. And as I said earlier, I have found love again, and I hope to marry in 2024. So God is good to me. God has blessed me. I've been through a lot, but He's given me the strength to do what I need to do to help people. I am a true humanitarian.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful answer. So my next question is on your screen. As a USA Regional Director of the Africa Nomads Conservation in Kenya, how do you balance your role in education with your involvement in conservation efforts?
Okay, well, I am also, among other things, I have a Saint Bernard, a big dog that weighs more than I do. Okay, she's huge. I'm an African animal advocate. I have been in 9 countries in Africa. 7 of those have, wild animals living in them. I've been in Morocco and Egypt. They don't necessarily have them, but South Africa, Swaziland, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Kenya, and I got connected with a young man in Kenya for the Africa Nomads Conservation. As a university student, one of his projects was to save the animals, the endangered animals. Well, I've been on so many game drives, and I've walked with lions, I've petted cheetahs, I have ridden on an ostrich, I've done all these things. I've vetted giraffe. As I said, I'm kind of a crazy woman. I take a lot of risks, nothing to be dangerous, but I take risks because I want to challenge myself. Well, I became so passionate about saving the elephants and the rhinoceros, and even giraffes are endangered now, and it breaks my heart because seeing them in the wild, I want to continue for us to be able to go to these countries and see them in the wild. And evil people are killing them. So I had to become a part of this African Nomads Conservation. And what I do, what little I can do, is support financially, but I also do YouTube videos talking about the problems there. And my new novel, this is the novel I mentioned earlier. This is Random Wanderings, but in my next novel, which is the sequel, will be coming out 224, I created an African animal rescue hospital in Masai Mara in Kenya, and I researched everything, and I talk about the animals and the poachers and all that. And I wrote this book. It's fiction, but based on facts, to encourage people when it comes out to join my cause and the causes of others to support people that are trying to save the animals. So that's what we're doing right now. I also was working with a family that was in Zimbabwe, and he has a lion encounter group where little do people know that lions are having birth defects because they're breeding within their own family. So he started this thing called Lion Encounter, where he takes one lion from one family and a male from this family and a female from this other family and breeds them so that we get lions that don't have these birth defects. But I haven't been able to talk to him much since the pandemic. He was having some problems. So I need to reconnect with him because I want to help him. I actually went and walked with 2 of his lions. I am very passionate about this. I want people to join with other organizations, whatever little you can do, even just writing about it on Facebook or your medias, to encourage people that if we don't do something about this, elephants will not exist for our great grandchildren, only in zoos. Lions will be gone. Rhinos will not exist. Even giraffes are being killed. We cannot do this. These animals were given to us by God to protect, and we must find ways to protect them in the wild. And that's my passion. And I'm working hard at that, one person at a time.
That's great. You are working very hardly. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is: you have an impressive background in teaching and education. Could you share a memorable teaching moment or experience that has had a significant impact on you?
Well, I'm gifted. I'm certified and gifted in the 1970s, and I'm aging myself. I'm 74, going on 26 in my head, guys. I think I'm 26, and that's a good thing. But in the 70s, that gifted program was initiated in the United States. And I was one of the pioneers to help create the program and be one of the first teachers in my state to teach that. So I taught gifted students throughout my 37-year career. But I have to admit, that was a wonderful experience. And I love teaching my American students. I'm connected with a lot of them. But teaching in Egypt changed my life. And I will tell you why. Here are these young adults. Some of them were college students. Some of them were professionals, like veterinarians and doctors and lawyers that took the course to improve their English. But what I was hearing from them is, you are an amazing teacher, Dr. Randi. We've never had a teacher like you. And I'm going, really? I mean, you've only known me for a couple of weeks because, and they said, it's you teach with love and you want to do everything you can to help us with our English. Our teachers here give us the book. They say, read it. We come to class. We listen to them lecture. They never interact with us. And then they give us an exam. You interact with us. We know you love us. We know you care about us. And because of that, you are one of our favorite teachers ever. That touched my heart so much because I didn't know any other way to teach. I was always mama to all of my students, all the tens and thousands of them. Even the boys would say to me, I don't really want to do this homework assignment, 18-year-old boys, but I'm going to do it for you because I want to please you. And if you have students that want to please you, then they're going to learn, right? Because they're going to want to do everything they can to make you proud of them. And so when I heard that from these Egyptian students, that was another reason I had to write this book. I had to tell their story as well. And it just touched my heart. When I left Egypt, I was not the same American woman that went there that first day. I was so appreciative of being American, but also so aware of what other people in other countries do and how they struggle and how we must help them. So that's, like I said, I've been in 62 countries and I've loved every single one of them. But when I go there, I want to get involved in the culture. I have 5,000 Facebook friends in 63 countries. I'm kind of like mama to the world. And a lot of my friends are like 30 years and under. So I try to connect with them. I try to give them good advice. But I have to admit, my Egyptian experience was the greatest teaching experience in my entire life. I embrace it. And I've done a lot of interviews talking about it.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. So, my next question is on your screen. With your extensive travel experience, could you share a travel destination or experience that has left a lasting impression on you?
Okay, I think I kind of mentioned Paris is my favorite city in the world because it's just so amazing. But Africa captured my heart. And as I said, when I go on those game drives and see the animals in the wild, I've had herds of elephants walk in front of me and lions walking beside our caravan and all these things, and being able to interact with the animals and go on a hot air balloon over the Masai Mara. I have to admit that probably the countries in Africa where I did the game drives are the most powerful. I did walk on the Great Wall of China in 1986. That was an amazing experience. But I think, and I think one time, if there is such thing as a former life, I must have been African, living somewhere in Africa. Because if I had more lives to do, I think I would love to be a game warden in one of the like Kruger National Park in South Africa and work with the animals more closely than I'm able to do now. So I would have to say Africa and all the African countries, South Africa, Kenya, Swaziland, Botswana, Zimbabwe, even Egypt, that I got to interact with the people and the wild animals there.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much for your answer. So now let's move on to next last question. Do you have any final words or wisdom or a message you'd like to share with our viewers?
Absolutely. As an English teacher, I always have messages. Okay. I grew up very shy, believe it or not, with a lot of low self-esteem. Okay. I had a bad family background. But God knew He had a plan for me that I was going to do something to help people. And that's what I'm about. I'm a teacher. I mean, no matter whatever else I do, I'm an educator first. Okay. So when I met my husband, who became like my earthly savior and made me believe in myself, I developed the life philosophy of believe, don't dream big, dream bigger. The sky is the limit, so reach for the stars. This is actually my copyrighted quote that's in my Egypt book. And I've lived my life that whole way. And when people tell me in some of the countries that they're struggling, that I'm a loser, I'll never amount to anything, I'll say, yeah, you will be then. If you believe you're a loser, you're going to be a loser. You're going to be a failure. You must believe in yourself. Okay. So my thoughts is to never quit, even if you're in the worst situation, there's always a way to improve your situation. I have literally helped 9 people from Morocco and Egypt who come to the United States either to study here or have immigrated here because of the USA Diversity Lottery that they have won. I've hosted them in my home and helped them start a new life. So if it is your dream to move to another country or to do something great in your country, just do it. You can do it. It's not going to be easy. You might have to do plans A, B, C, and D, and maybe E and F. But if you want to do something, it is possible. I'm possible. They told me I'd never walk again. I survived a horrible car accident and had 4 trauma doctors, 8 months in physical therapy, okay, 19 days in ICU. I'm here. I am proof that you can do whatever you want to do. It's up to you. It's your mindset. And when people tell you you're a loser, you're not going to do anything, don't listen to them. They're the losers. They're just trying to bring you down. Believe in yourself. And I'm sure that everybody that's listening here, you are brilliant people. You have good minds. Use them. But also connect with people of the same mindset. Get away from those people that tell you you can't do anything, you're worthless. You don't need them in your life. Okay? Eliminate them. Connect with groups that are positive. I'm going to connect this young lady with a couple of female groups when after the show is over, because I want her to be a part of this world movement of humanitarian female leaders. Find your group. They're out there. And don't give up until you find the right one for you. And if it doesn't fit, back away. Remember, don't dream big, dream bigger.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful advice. Believe in yourself and not dream big. The dream is very bigger. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your very wonderful advice, and thank you so much for your very amazing answer. And thank you for sharing your incredible journey with us today. Your dedication to education, your work is conservation and humanitarianism, and your accomplishments as an author and editor are truly inspiring to our audience. We hope you will enjoy this insightful conversation as much as we did. Remember, you can stay connected with Ma'am Randi and follow her work through her various platforms. Thank you so much, ma'am, again for your wonderful time.
My pleasure so much. It was such a pleasure to be with you. And I want you to continue to dream bigger. I know you will be. God bless everybody. Okay, I assume we're over.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
ma'am, for your wonderful time.
Sorry, my
Bye.
phone keeps ringing. Sorry.
No,
Crazy.
no, my internet was not working. Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay.
Have a wonderful day ahead.
Okay. I will talk to you later. I'm going to send you, we'll connect. I've got a really busy